The fate of Nicolas Cage. What happened? Nicolas Cage is one of the best leading man and action character there is in Hollywood, having featured in some great blockbuster films like the most famous of all, Godfather. Despite his glory on the screens, his life has not always been smooth. So stay tuned and get to discover some amazing facts from the video we bet you didn't know. Please don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell to get notified when we drop a new video. And we would appreciate a like, comment, and share the video. Nicolas Cage, whose actual name was Nicolas Kim Coppola, was born in Long Beach, California on January 7, 1964. He adopted the name Nicolas Cage later on, taking inspiration from Luke Cage, who was a character in Marvel Comics. His father, August Coppola, was a literature professor and was also the brother of Francis Ford Coppola, who was a filmmaker that directed a number of famous movies like the Godfather trilogy. Nicolas' mother, Joy Vogelsang, was a dancer and choreographer who suffered from mental illnesses like depression and schizophrenia, which led to her being hospitalized for a very long time. It would therefore be right to say that Nicolas Cage grew up in a family of artists and academics and was exposed to the world of film and literature from a young age. His uncle Francis Ford greatly influenced his career, and Cage was fortunate enough to appear in several of his films like Rumble Fish, 1983, and Peggy Sue Got Married, 1986. Despite the privileged upbringing, Nicolas had a challenging childhood from a strained relationship with his father and the impact of his mother's illness. These experiences are said to have influenced Cage's approach to acting and his ability to bring complex and troubled characters to life on screen. After appearing in several of his uncle's films, Nicolas Cage started establishing himself as a leading actor in Hollywood by appearing in a range of films and showcased his versatility as an actor. In 1987, he won an Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in the romantic comedy Moonstruck. This was a big achievement for him, and it established him as a serious actor and helped push his career forward. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, Cage continued to work steadily in Hollywood, appearing in several blockbuster and independent films like The Rock, 1996, Con Air, 1997, Face/Off, 1997, National Treasure, 2004, and the most notable of all, the 2007 blockbuster, Godfather. In 1995, Cage won a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Drama for his role in Leaving Las Vegas. This film marked a departure for him since it was a dark and emotionally filled drama that demonstrated his range as an actor. In 2002, Nicolas was nominated for an Academy Award for his role in Adaptation, which was a metafictional work that blurred the lines between reality and fiction. Cage played two roles in the film, which showed his ability to portray complex characters. In addition to these, he was also known for taking on both controversial and sometimes unconventional roles that added to his reputation as an unpredictable and one-of-a-kind actor. One of his most famous unconventional roles was in the thriller film Face/Off, in which he starred alongside John Travolta. In the film, Cage plays a terrorist called Castor Troy, who undergoes facial transplant surgery to switch identities with FBI agent Sean Archer, played by Travolta. His performance as the charismatic and unhinged villain was liked by audiences, and the film has since become a cult classic. Another unconventional role Cage was willing to take up was in the 2006 horror film The Wicker Man, a remake of the 1973 British classic. In the film, he plays a police officer investigating the disappearance of a young girl on a remote island inhabited by a secretive and eccentric community. Cage's performance in the film, particularly his infamous line delivery of "Not the bees," in the scene where his character is attacked by a swarm of bees, has been widely parodied online. Some of the controversial roles he has taken up include his portrayal as a racist and violent police officer in Red Rock West, which was released in 1993, and his role as a Vietnam veteran suffering from PTSD in the 1995 drama Birdie. Regardless of the controversy surrounding these roles, Nicolas' performances were liked by many. His unique and unpredictable approach to acting has earned him a mass of fans who appreciate his willingness to take risks and push boundaries. In recent years, Cage has continued to work in many roles that have cemented his status as one of the most versatile and beloved actors in Hollywood. Aside from his acting career, Nicolas Cage has been known to be a ladies' man and has been in multiple marriages which have all been short-lived. He has been married 4 times, with 2 of the marriages being shorter than his 107-day marriage to Lisa Marie Presley. In April 2001, he married Patricia Arquette, whom they had met in 1999 on the set of the movie Bringing Out the Dead, where they played a couple and started dating shortly after. Cage had been previously married twice and Arcade once. However, the marriage didn't last, and they announced their separation in November 2002, and according to reports, they had been living separately prior to the announcement, but the two remained friends and have continued to work in the film industry. In the same year, he met Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley, and got married in August 2002 in Hawaii. Their marriage was very publicized due to their celebrity status, but similar to the previous marriage. They filed for a divorce shortly after, where Presley said they had had irreconcilable differences and hence had to split. But the two are still good friends. Nicolas Cage has also been married to Alice Kim, a former waitress who he met at a restaurant in Los Angeles in 2004. They began dating shortly after and tied knot later in the same year. They got a son, Kal-El, who was born in 2005, but the couple announced their separation in 2016 and divorced later on. In 2019, Cage was briefly married to Erica Koik after dating for a year. They tied the knot in March of that year in Las Vegas, but 4 days later, he filed for an annulment, claiming that he had been too intoxicated to understand the full implications of getting married. Koik filed a response to his annulment request, stating that the marriage was not a fraud and there was not any intoxication to make the decision to get married, and asked for spousal support. The process went on for weeks, with both Cage and Koik making claims against each other. But in the end, the annulment was granted, with the judge ruling that the marriage was based on fraud since Koik hadn't disclosed her criminal history like a prior DUI conviction. Despite the short-lived and odd nature of the relationship, the public and the media were fascinated by the marriage and the annulment, which added to Cage's personal life being as dramatic and unpredictable as the characters he portrayed on screen. Apart from his troubled marriage life, Nicolas Cage began having financial troubles in 2007 when he was sued by his former business manager, Samuel J. Levin, for unpaid taxes and squandering funds. The lawsuit claimed that Cage had spent $33 million on extravagant purchases like yachts, private jets, and exotic cars, and owed millions in unpaid taxes, but Cage countersued Levin, claiming that he had mismanaged his funds and put in a tough financial position. The legal battle went on for years and greatly hurt Nicolas' finances, and in 2009 he had to sell his mansion in Bel Air for $11 million after defaulting on a $18 million mortgage. He also has several assets like property and his collection of rare comic books to help pay off his debts. Despite his efforts, his financial problems did not end. In the same year, he reportedly owed IRS $14 million in unpaid taxes and was facing a number of lawsuits from creditors. In order to get his finances back on track, he started taking up more roles in acting, often lower-budget films, and hence developed a reputation as a B-movie actor. He appeared in approximately 50 films between 2009 and 2022, an average of about 4 movies annually. While many of these films didn't get enough recognition, Cage's willingness to work helped him make good progress in paying off his debts. In interviews, he spoke openly about his financial struggles and the steps he had taken to overcome them, like working more frequently and making smarter financial decisions. Despite it being a difficult period for Cage, his determination to get out of debt and great work ethic helped him regain financial stability. Nicolas Cage has also been the subject of many internet memes over the years, which have made fun of his over-the-top acting techniques and unique facial expressions. Some popular memes include "You Don't Say" and "Nick Cage is everyone," where his face is imposed onto different celebrities. However, Cage hasn't always been comfortable with the way he has been portrayed. While at an interview with IndieWire in 2018, he acknowledged that while he knows about the internet's fascination with him, he found some memes to be disrespectful and hurtful, and also expressed his concern that his work as an actor was being undermined rather than being appreciated for its value. But Cage said that he has gradually learned to embrace his status as a meme and appreciates the humor in it. As we saw earlier, Nicolas' mother had a mental illness, and hence he was mainly raised by his father. The two made a close relationship over the years, with his father exposing him to great cinemas like the classics of the Italian filmmaker Federico Fellini and German Expressionism. Coppola died of a heart attack on October 29, 2009, but this hasn't stopped him from being a big influence on his son's life. Cage and his current wife, Rico Shibata, tied the knot on his father's birthday and claimed that if they bore a baby girl, they would name her Lennon Augie since Augie was his father's nickname. And that brings us to the end of our video. We hope you had a great time learning about the course of Nicolas Cage's life. If you want to get the story of another Hollywood star, please leave a comment, and we will give you all the details you need. Thanks for watching, and please remember to hit that subscription button and clicking on the notification bell.